Hey guys, Moshe the Electric Israeli, and I want to share with you an amazing video with Ron Barron from Barron Investment. He's one of the biggest investors in Tesla. He owns 1.63 million shares that he bought, close to 7-8 years ago at a $260 a share. He's talking about Tesla becoming the biggest company in the world in 10 years, reaching $1 trillion of market share. That is unbelievable. He's talking about a growth of 2.8 billion to 28 billion. We're talking about revenue to eventually $1 trillion. He's talking about a growth of 32 billion next year. He's talking about tremendous demand of the Tesla products, and he is emphasizing the importance of the battery day and the Panasonic partnership, which now for the first time yielded a revenue and profits for the first time since. And of course, the demand and the deliveries of Tesla now controlling 17% of the world's EV market, still more than 60% in the United States. Unbelievable. And the China factory and the projection for next year's deliveries, which will be 500,000 cars plus. And he feels that very soon, in the next few years, Tesla will reach 10 million cars per year, matching what Toyota and Volkswagen are doing. And the sky is the limit of car market of 90 million cars per year. So that is it. Listen to this amazing interview this morning. I'm just putting a very small snippet for you, and then you can watch the rest on YouTube. It's great interview. Thank you guys for watching.
What have you thought as you've watched the stock go up 80% from $400 and change to this morning looking at $836 in the pre-market?
Well, you got to remember that 2014, when we were buying our stock, about 1.6 million shares at an average price of $219. And as you know, since I've been on the show several times since, the stock went between 350 and 180 and 250. So it's all over. And that period of time was when this company wasn't profitable, was expanding rapidly. They were being criticized by short sellers. It was very difficult for them to get started because dealers would try to prevent them from selling cars in individual states. But now things have all come together. And but in the period of time since 2014, the stock price didn't change very much through last summer. So through last summer, our $219 stock was $230, $240. So we made 10%, 20%, 30%. At the same period of time, the company's business, we focus on business, not stock prices. The company's business had grown from $2.8 billion of annual revenues to $25 billion of annual revenues, eightfold. So the company's up eightfold, stock's up 20%, 10%. Now what's happening, this is just catch up. Now this year, Tesla is going to do somewhere around $32 billion of revenues. And I guess that they're going to do $100 billion of revenues within 4 years. And I think they have potential for $1 trillion of revenues within 10 years. So basically, you're looking at the very start of what's going to happen with Tesla. This could be one of the largest companies in the whole world.
$1 trillion in revenue in 10 years?
That's assuming you do 10 million cars. There's 90 million cars or 95 million cars that are sold, yes. And that's without the battery business. So I'm thinking that we're thinking $750 billion to $1 trillion of revenues just on the car business. Elon says that the battery business is going to be as big as the car business. In addition to that, when I'm thinking about 10 million cars a year, the last conversation he had, he said it was 20 million cars is what he thinks he can do. And so what we're talking about is a business that right now, demand is overwhelming for the product that they're selling. And they're constrained as far as making as many cars as they could sell because they don't have enough batteries. So now there's a nice announcement today about Panasonic making money in the plant they have in Reno. But they need to have more batteries. So they're going to have a battery day in a few months. They're going to have all the analysts coming out and they're going to show how they're addressing the issue of where are these batteries going to come from to make all these cars that are possible to make.